Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Let's start by having you share some of your impressions of the School of the Senses in Portugal.
The School of the Senses seems to me as a place of welcoming, a place that is inviting, and a place that there is a warmth about it. I think in contrast with many of the schools in the U.S. and even in Brazil, I believe that it's a place where children would better like to go.
Great. Chris, you grew up in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Can you share some information about the education programs and the community schools that exist there?
So, yeah, in the large cities in Brazil, there are a lot of alternative educational programs for children of all classes, children of all ages. And one of the characteristics of these schools is the integration of different populations that co-inhabit the same urban space. So that crosses classes, that crosses ethnicities, that crosses age groups. So for example, we have an internet cafe where the teenagers in the neighborhood would mentor the elderly who live in the same area to be able to navigate the internet, for example. And whereas at the same time, a lot of the kids who are not attending formal school may learn how to read and write through the activities that are in the newspaper that belong to that neighborhood, for example. And so in that, there would be a mentor, a more senior person in the neighborhood who would help the children write their stories and publish them in the newspaper, and that story will become part of the neighborhood. And there are several activities like that. So the integration happens through the very activities that the children participate in.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, the architects of Macena emphasized the importance of the school community throughout their design process. Can you compare that with Brazilian community schools?
Yes, I think that, again, the idea of community-based schools is one that is integral to the development of education. We need to be much more aware of what it takes to educate a child. I think in the past we have talked about educating a disembodied head, and then we talked about educating the whole child, and now I think we are paying a lot more attention about the different ecologies that are present, that are influencing and mediating the education of a child. And so that includes the communities, the families, the business around the neighborhoods, the town communities. So a lot more links that are coming together synergistically to educate that child.
What do you think about the architecture of the School of the Senses, and how does this architecture support the citizenship?
For what I saw, I think that the building has a lot of curves, for one thing, and that seems to evoke a particular warmth to it, a particular embrace, so in that space, I think that children would feel more invited. As I also understand, there is a reflective pool which mirrors the river that is on the outside of that school, and I think that in that community, the river is thought of as a connector, not a divider, and so it becomes a place of bridging, a place of connectiveness, and a place of togetherness. And I think that's creates a whole environment that is conducive to this mobility, flowing movements, and as well as the connection between people, interactions, and relationships.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your impressions of the School of the Senses. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.